You have queued up the Roulette Tapes, a program of adventurous music and conversation recorded at the New York City Concert Hall, Roulette. You can hear thousands of concert recordings from Roulette's past and present and find news of upcoming events celebrating innovation and imagination at roulette.org. Aren't you curious?
Welcome to another edition of the Roulette Tapes. I'm Susan James. I'll be your host. The sonic artist and composer Lucie Vítková is our feature for this edition as we dive into material from 3 performances in the Roulette archives. The sounds you'll hear in this program only scratch the surface of the full live experience. Vítková's work involves the interplay of light, water, wind, voices, and musical instruments in space. And one writer described the work as music turned inside out. Take a listen and explore for yourself as Lucie Vítková walks us through the pieces.
I'm Lucie Vítková. I'm a non-binary composer from the Czech Republic. I am also a musician. I perform a lot. I moved to New York 7 years ago, and for now it's my home here. And I participate on the contemporary classical scene as well as the experimental scene and DIY scene, as well as the rock music scene. I liked my work to be across genres, and in each genre I also do lots of multidisciplinary work, so kind of like bending the boundaries between boxes and divisions. My first musical experiences, what could it be? I feel like the music went together with dance as well. That's why I have kind of like multiple lives and multiple careers. And I've been doing lots of dance in childhood as well as music, playing flutes, singing in the choir, playing piano. Later then accordion became my main instrument, and until now I'm still adding. I play Japanese hichiriki and I'm part of the gagaku community here in New York. Also studied in Tokyo for a bit with Hitomi Nakamura, and 2 years ago I picked up drum set, which is my passion for now. Yeah, so different things. Really, I started when I was 3 or 4 years old to play instruments and dance, so very early. And I started to compose when I was 15 and did like a solo piano pieces and, perform different venues, piano recital, local bar, people compare my work to Prokofiev or Scriabin at that time. And so it was already kind of going towards modern sound in a way, not that much classical modern sound, yeah. So that brought me later to accordion, and I got to conservatoire, studied classical accordion for 6 years, and along that I started to study composition as well. And I feel like that community suited me the best so far. So I kind of like studied parallel, like being a performer, instrumentalist, as well as composer. And then I moved for bachelor degree, master degree, and PhD in composition. So I went all the way for the composer's path. Opera was a piece I composed in 2017, and it was commissioned by Roulette. And I fell for the commission. I wanted to make a big piece. Throughout my life, I tried to relate to opera because it's not direct to me. It doesn't catches my heart right away. But I like always challenging. It challenges. And I like when the form challenges me or certain music challenges me. So every year I still try to relate to opera. And this piece, opera, was the first time I wrote an opera. And I, of course, took it from my perspective, and I took the form of the opera and just fill it up with my sonorities, with my material, with my imagination of aria, with my imagination of recitative, and how single acts are revealing on the stage. I really like the review of Lucie Kaplan, who wrote that it's no surface, that it's only the organs. There is no surface in that opera. And I must say, because it's about the voice itself, and it's about the performers themselves on the stage doing things. I also relate to opera on the more general term from the Italian word operare, as doing things, making things, performing. So that's a very general term, but I feel like it's included in the opera because it's very multimedia work, opera. There is a theater, there is singing, there are instruments. Sometimes I relate more to like just doing things together on the stage, and that's what opera is for me. But I still try to relate to the classical way how we perceive opera. after the commission, I got a roulette residency, which is an amazing opportunity to dig deep into my practice. And I decided to do like a whole evening solo work, which had multiple parts. I did dance and music and different instruments. I just came from Tokyo, and I really was deeply involved in the hichiriki practice. So I presented hichiriki, which is a Japanese double reed flute, in the experimental context in some way, and just exposed my relationship to it in multiple pieces. And this piece, Spectacle, it was really important to perform this piece or make it, because these separate scenes then become like very good base for my, I take one of the piece on the tour. Roulette gave me a space to really focus on my practice, and then I could take it even on the road. So Pieces from Darkness was just a regular performance at the Roulette, but I think I took it again very like a big piece. I just always want to use that opportunity to make something new and collaborate with people. And in this performance, there were 4 pieces. The first one was light installation. So I have to say that the whole concert was in the dark mostly, which was very hard to capture on cameras and live stream. But if you were there, you could enjoy the intimacy and the focus on the delicate lights I was working with, and also on the sound, and just go through the whole evening in the dark. And the first piece was an 1-hour installation, which was also interactive with the audience at certain parts. It's called Opaque, and I collaborated on it with my friend Shower Liu, who lives in Berlin. We created this piece out of broken mirrors and make costumes and work with the sound of the broken glass, kind of portraying the brokenness inside of us and putting it outside and working with it together, working on these sharp pieces. We had a long conversation about communist regimes, like the communist regime in former Czechoslovakia or the Soviet Union, and also the Chinese communist regime. So we were having like a huge discussions around this piece, how that influenced our lives. So settled, if you are born into it. So that was very important piece, because I feel like just that comparison and also sharing different experiences was very crucial, like for us, for the piece, but also like in some way for our lives, because it's rare to talk about it with people. There you go. So that was Opaque. And it was about healing, of course. Yeah, we try to find healing between each other, and yeah. So it's very intimate piece, a very intimate collaboration. Okay, so after Opaque, there was this piece, Earth Eater, which is about a creature. I changed into a sonic costume, which is a jacket with a cellophane pieces, which are crackling and sonified my movement. I have lights instead of my eyes, and I have synthesizer in my crotch, and I have feedback on my body and harmonica, which sonifies my breath. And like that, I just wander between the audience, and I try to interact with them and feeling their energies and kind of communicate with them non-verbally, just through sound. The show continued with movie. We filmed with Drew Vesely, and that was a great collaboration, because Drew saw Earth Eater on its prototype when I did in Prospect Park at some DIY show, and they were so excited about that piece that they were like, "Oh, I want to film a movie about this creature," and I got excited, and we did it. We have Earth Eater in the streets of the New York, crawling around. We did some shots on Halloween. We did some shots in Marine Park, like beautiful nature, Washington Square Park. It became a public performance, basically. So he's capturing Earth Eater in different environments of New York, at my home as well, and it brings this view of life of a creature in the city. And we finished this concert with a duo seminar Shadow, which I have with Terapat Pamonko. And we played a new piece, Darkness, which contained 2 TV screens with the video score. And I played the drums and hichiriki and the voice, and Terapat played dulcimer, electronics, electric guitar, voice, and that was like a half-hour piece, just following the score, which was flickering on us. So the scene was dark, but the TVs were flickering on us with this video score. It was making us visible. It was my drum premiere. I played drums, and I feel like that was a good instrument to get it out. This year, so I got the support from Niska, and it seemed like it asked again for another opera, and I am doing it again, relating to that form and seeing what it brings in me. And of course, Roulette Intermedium, again, there is lots of different mediums connected with it, and it's gonna be pretty big. It has 9 scenes. It will be 1.5-hour piece. It has water installation with 9 speakers. It has huge sonic sculpture. I built 20 instruments for the audience to join us, and there will be a bel canto, because in my previous opera we didn't use bel canto voice, but this time I want to work with bel canto, who will be sang by Ashley Greer. And I just can maybe say that it begins when we dig out bel canto as archaeological finding from the ground, and I work with the bel canto as a DIY approach, as an object, which will be kind of like going through the scenes, and we will be relating to the bel canto voice. So the bel canto will be sounding there, but it's more like an archaeological finding, and that's how the story starts.
Samples of the work of Lucie Vítková. The full performances are available on our website at roulette.org/archive. These recordings have been preserved as part of the Roulette Concert Archives, a project made possible in part with support from the National Endowment for the Arts. David Weinstein is Roulette's Director of Special Projects and Senior Producer for the Roulette Tapes. I'm Susan James. Thanks for listening.
You have been listening to the Roulette Tapes, a program of adventurous music and conversation. This series is produced by Roulette Intermedium. You can find thousands of concert recordings from Roulette's archives and news of upcoming events at roulette.org.